And as for this whole, even down to sentences like, Paige, I understand you're passionate, and Rickster, this is no offense to you personally, I promise, but just in general, as an educational point, Paige, I understand you're passionate as she shouldn't have to be that passionate as racism. That shouldn't even be a thing. We shouldn't even be acknowledging that she's passionate about racism, because everybody should be passionate if they hear something that's wrong. Just like I said, the moment that we hear, because we understand our history and our culture, and especially these same girls that get up time and time again, and these are youngers to me, they get up time and time again, put themselves on the line, have their inboxes full of hate. They do it time and time again. Why? Because they understand their history. They understand that gypsies, travelers, black people, Asian people all have a similar fight with different aspects. Tony, I'm not going to speak too much because you know how people move on here. My second family, as in the second family that I was raised with, are travelers. They trained from Connors to O'Connors. You know what I'm saying, right? You'll understand that if you know. I get it. I get that struggle. I get trying to book frigging wedding venues and this, that, and the other, and having to move like we move. So I understand all that side, but I am not by no means claiming I am a traveller, because I am not. I was not raised with that. I've just been around that a lot because my second family are that. And these girls get that too. They understand the struggle. It's not about whether a gypsy or traveller versus a black or Asian or whatever else person. We all have a similar, not the same, a similar fight. They are not coming for you. They are not coming for Pearl. And as that brotherly figure which you take on, I get where your energy is coming from. But as far as calling Torian a bitch, if that was true, I personally didn't hear that. Don't apologize for what Pearl said, because that's been resolved between these girls and Pearl. They're good.
Can I just stop you for a second?
You said to these girls,
can I just stop you for a second? Can I respond? Can I respond?
Tony, just let Tony, when you've spoke, mate, let Hannah talk, because she hasn't talked yet. She tried to...
Sorry. Listen,
but I do think that there's an apology, because you're not that man, Tony. I know you're
not. I'm not. I'm not. I will fight any racism on this app.
Even in terms of language, hon, I think the fact that because I didn't hear it, that's why I'm saying if, and I believe Torian, but I'm just saying.
Torian, I was not even in that live feed last night, and Torian, when she was speaking about Pearl, I've got the screen recording in case she wants to deny it. Torian mentioned me without me being in a box, without me opening my mouth or saying anything. Torian referred to me as, Tony and Pearl. Put me straight in that category. Want to speak about racism. Torian put it on me last night for no reason. And that's why I've got my back up so much today, because I have the recording, I can play it, it's not a problem.
Tony, I have a question for you, though, mate. I have a genuine question. If I'm saying if, say for example, one of these girls, was racist towards the traveller community, would you be happy with them telling you to shut up and put up about it? Would you be happy for you trying to end all this and end raising awareness of it? You probably wouldn't. You'd be telling them to go fuck themselves. Wouldn't you?
Respond to Tony.
Can you do me a favour? Can you do me a favour? I don't know who you are, but I can't hear you properly.
Tony, you have a beautiful wife and beautiful daughters, and I've seen the respect that you
Tony, the reason why I mentioned your name is because I said that there is a lot of content creators like yourself, like Pearl, that want to spread awareness about racism, but will have delusive Angie in the same box that you are in, someone who has been openly racist on this app. That's why your name was mentioned.
But you might know that, and I don't know. So what if
you don't know what
tomorrow? What if something comes out tomorrow about Courtney or Han or anyone else?
Because what I'm trying to tell you is you do know, because we came in your live last year, and we had a whole debate in your live with me and Paige where we was raising awareness about delusive Angie's racial remarks against the black community and her discriminative remarks against the traveling community. So don't sit here and say I didn't know.
So can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If I've been discriminated by Angie, and she has apologized, and I have forgiven her since that apology, where do we go with Pearl? That's what I'm asking. how many times can this woman apologise? What is next?
Apologising, Tony.
Can I
Spoke it out with her.
Guys, listen, I want Hannah to talk now. She hasn't spoken, so Hannah, can you speak, please? Sorry.
Thank you, Ricksta. Right, do you know what it is? What it is, Tony? And I think when you came in all guns blazing and you were heated, I think you've kind of got the wrong end of the stick. Us girls are not up here, and I'm sure people are not starting up lives to crucify Pearl. Nobody's coming for Pearl. Nobody's saying that she's a big bad wolf. Nobody's trying to get down her platform and tear her down. That's not what we're trying to do. I was in Pearl's box this morning and I spoke to her directly. It's not about crucifying Pearl. This is bigger. You have to look at the bigger picture, and it's bigger than just Pearl. What she said, yes, was unacceptable. Yes, it was very racist, and it was disgusting for her to say to Laura. At the same time, she is not the only one on this app that does that. She's not the only person on this app and creator and so someone that starts up a live and is quick to be racist. We get that, we understand that, but you have to understand that it's a bigger bloody picture. There's the bigger picture of when is racism going to be taught, and when is that teachings going to be put into practice? When are we actually going to see some sort of change being made on the app? It's well and good Pearl and loads of other creators coming on a live or coming in a box and saying, do you know what, I apologize. What's an apology without actually understanding and acknowledging why you're apologizing? Why are you apologizing? What's the root cause of your apology? If you can't give me an answer to that, I'm sorry, your apology does not exist. It's void. And I'm not obliged to accept it. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So
I understand. I understand. No, sorry, I just
stop. Do you know what I mean? It's not about stopping.
Can I respond? Can I respond?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, of course.
Sorry,
go.
I totally understand that, but I have dealt with racism or discrimination. Sorry, I don't fall in the racism category according to people. I have dealt with discrimination on a day-to-day basis, but my priority when there is 1.9 people in this live and there's 3.7, do you know how many pedophiles is on this app, people?
Absolutely.
Check
and we
your child's devices.
Can I just
Stop using your 4 point whatever K to argue about someone who used the word, who apologised on multiple occasions, and actually look at the fucking wrongings on the app.
We get that. Tony, give me a second, babe. Give me a second.
Anyone in this box told
I've been wanting to talk.
To say sorry again?
Yeah,
yes
I'm trying to talk. Sorry.
Has anyone in this fucking box sat here and told Pearl to say sorry again? Yes or no? Because I haven't. I ain't heard Torian.
I've just apologised on her behalf.
I've not heard
Courtney. I've apologised on her behalf.
So there we go. So
but she's not online.
Let her speak.
If she's online, I can ask her to come in.
Fucking hell, mate.
Speak, please.
You've let every cunt on here talk but me.
Sorry.
I'm the only fucking person you've spoke over 24/7. Shut the fuck up a minute, mate.
We haven't been on here 24/7.
Nobody has told Pearl to apologise again. We're having an outward discussion using what she said as a case reference to discuss racism.
How many times do you need her to apologise?
Okay, Tony.
For her to apologise.
You just come in. Oh yeah, I can't talk. I actually can't talk. I can't.
How many times do you need her to apologise?
I just want to end my point before.
I'm coming down now. The man said my name, and not one single fucking person has let me answer or defend myself. Why the fuck am I racist after everything I'm doing? I'm putting into the app. Why have you run in here and called me a racist?
Somebody unmute Tony, please. Whoever muted him. Time.
I don't want to even talk until he responds to Paige.
Every single person spoken. Tony's let talk. Han can talk. Kiki can talk. Torian can talk. And if you not even call me mad or try and say that I'm aggressive and tell me that you fuckers have not seen everything I've said every time I've spoke, all I can hear is Tony's fucking breath underneath me. That's all I can hear. So now I am being aggressive because I'm pissed off now. I'm fuming. I'm fucking raging. I've kept my cool. I've been the good black girl all day, Ricksta. All day I've been the good black girl. No, I'm sick of it.
Okay.
He can piss off, mate. He can piss right off. I've had his fucking back. I've had his community's back. I've had my own back.
Big up our Pearl.
His
Our
backing.
Pearl made a mistake. She apologised. Big up Pearl. I love Pearl. I'll stand by
Tony, wait.
Big up Pearl.
Tony, you need to respond to
Tony,
what
wait.
Piss off, you absolute
Right, do you know what
waste
it
of
is?
space.
Yeah, guys,
Don't come in here and call me fucking racist when I've been the good black girl. This is me normally. This is what I'm like. My mouth is wicked. I can hold it. I promise you now. But I've tried to be nice so people like Tony don't get too offended and start crying his little eyes out because of the time white privilege. And now you're going to talk over me the whole time. The whole time. I'm absolutely sick of it. Don't come in anywhere and call me racist. And all you're doing is jumping up to defend your friend who herself admitted she's done something wrong. So why you feel the need to say stop bullying Pearl when Pearl is fine, mate?
100%.
Do you know what it is?
I think people are missing the point as well, is we're talking about also the people that agree and don't have an issue with what Pearl said. That's why the girls are educating, because there is people out there who went, but Pearl did nothing wrong. And that's the people that are needing educated.
But do you know what it is, Courtney, as well? Like, it's not even like nobody crucified her. Like, she was on a live till God knows what time in the morning last night. We could have jumped down her throat. We could have called her all the names under the sun. We really, really, really could have actually come together as black women and really jumped Pearl's throat, but we didn't. So she really, I'm not even gonna lie, like, she actually got off lightly last night because she was heard, she was listened to.
What's that lady? Because I respect her.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we showed her mad respect last night, and that was not because we're inferior to her, we're scared of her. It was more to do with actually, how are we going to make a change on this app? How are we going to actually educate creators to make them aware that what they're saying does have impact? And the impact is racist at the end of the day, because if we're going to attack somebody for what they've said, they're going to then say it to the next Tom, Dick and Harry. Then, do you know what I mean? And we're not going to be responsible for what happens to them. So you need to...
She's old enough to also know
that's what we need to try to understand. As a collective... Hang on, Marcel, give me a second, babe. As a collective, as black women, we came up there, and trust me, if the shoe was on the other foot and it was one of us black girls saying something racially discriminatory to a white woman, we would have had all sorts of fuck this, fuck that, this, that down our throats. Do you know what I mean? So please give us the credit where it's due and try to understand us from a place where we're not trying to gun down and come for Pearl. We're trying to educate people. I know the ignorance amongst comments and people that are viewing can get away with themselves. But at the end of the day, there's so much we can do before we can say, do you know what, we're tired. Like, I've been in so many lives, I've been shared, I've had messages all morning telling me to jump in this live, that live. I had a message for Tony's live earlier, I missed it. Two people asking me to come in and, respond to something. We are always in a position where we have to put our back up and we have to sit there and prove to people why we should be listened to. That's not fair. I'm sorry, it's not fair.
So the swearing shepherdess laughed about it. That's how offended she was.
She
laughed about it. She laughed about it.
But Tony,
she laughed about accusing men of SG.
Okay.
She's doing things to animals.
Tony,
was you there, Tony?
Okay, if she didn't laugh, hang on to it. If she didn't laugh,
she laughed. I've seen the video.
Okay, but I've seen it too. I've seen it too.
I've been tagged in a bit. She laughed about it a million times.
Okay, but Tony, you need to understand one thing. You, as somebody or someone else that's white in the white community, I'm sorry, I'm going to...
Can I say something?
They cannot tell them how to
what you kept
feel.
speaking about earlier
But what did you expect her to do, Tony?
Wait, one second.
You kept talking to my face earlier on.
Wait,
that I am white privileged.
Why
you kept showing that I'm white privileged. You're allowed in places I'm not. You're allowed in places I'm not.
Tony, stop shouting. You're being aggressive. You're being aggressive.
But we come and defend
Tony. Answer my question.
There's 4 people shouting at me.
Why is it that we always defer back to? Why is it that we always defer back to Laura and Speedo's situation? At the end of the day, and I'm going to say this very clearly, since when do any of us have a right to tell a woman when she was and wasn't essayed? At the end of the day, last time I checked, no one was there. Nobody was
I'll
there.
tell you what. I'll
Let's
tell you what we
stop
do. I'll tell you
deterring
what we
from
do.
the
I'll tell you
actual
what we'll
racist
do. I can
topic
fire
and
up a
stop
live feed
talking
just
about
like anyone
her
else.
sexual abuse. At the end of the
Listen,
day, you
were
lot are
played.
listening.
You were
Shut
played
up!
recordings.
Come
You were
out.
played
Oh
recordings
my
earlier
God,
on
I
today.
can't. This
You were
man
played
is so
recordings, but
aggressive.
you're gonna ignore
This
them.
man is so
I tell you what,
aggressive.
Tony,
Can I finish?
Yeah,
Rickstar, can I
Tony,
finish?
let
You're gonna
Torian
ignore
finish.
them.
I haven't even finished
Let
what I'm
Torian finish.
saying. What I'm saying to you is, right? This whole thing is about a comment that was made to her that everyone has now basically seen that it was a racial comment, especially Pearl, right? But yet everyone wants to deter back to her and Speedo's situation. At the end of the day, nobody was there. Nobody knows what's actually went on and what didn't. As far as I'm concerned, that has nothing to do with the comment that was made towards her. So you sitting here and saying, oh, but she done this with Speedo. Who gives a heck? That's not the topic in hand. You lot have already had that
I say
topic
Speedo?
a
Did I
year
say
ago
Speedo?
or nearly a year ago. We are not,
No one
especially
cares
as a
about that.
man, you are not going to sit here and bring up a woman's essay, whether it happened or whether it didn't. We was not there.
Whether it
Point
happened
blank,
or whether it
period.
didn't.
Everyone's
That is
all
it.
Are you fucking serious?
Okay,
Yes, I
Tony,
am
that's
serious.
besides the
Very
point.
much
We don't really.
serious.
That's besides the point. That's not what we're talking about here. When you're saying Laura laughed about the situation, I'm sure you're referring to the fact that today on her live that she was bawling her eyes out. And again, I'm sorry.
And
as
Pearl
a black
wasn't
woman,
last night. Pearl wasn't last
Tony, at
night.
the end of the day, she brought up
but
Pearl
you
wasn't
have to
last
understand,
night.
she
that
can
word,
react.
she wouldn't
But
be sat
Tony,
there
hang on,
crying.
Dimitri.
Pearl wasn't last night.
Tony, darling, listen to me. I'm not going to cuss you. I'm not going to
I'm
scream
not
at you.
your
I'm just gonna talk
darling,
to you.
Han.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
you
your
can't.
darling.
Okay, but just listen to me for a second. Just 2 minutes, just listen to me. I'm not going to sit here and shout at you and cuss you. That's not my character. But my thing is, as a black woman, she was called an orangutan by a white woman, right? If she would have reacted, like I said, we could have gone down. We could have gone and cussed her from, everything from her to her ancestors last night. And we had every right to. I'm sorry. But the reason why we didn't, and Laura kept her calm, I'm sorry. Because if that was me, I'm telling you, it would have been a different reaction as much as I'm a cool, collected person. As soon as Laura would have turned around and screamed and shouted and cussed her, a white woman would have turned around in that box and said, you're being aggressive, you're being this, you're being that. We would have been labelled in stereotypes from the jump. But Laura being Laura, she kept her calm. She didn't say anything. She didn't interrupt Pearl. She said, look, what you said was out of line. And then she started up her own life today and she was bawling her eyes out. So I'm sorry, telling a black woman how to feel and how to react to racism when you've never, ever, 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 as somebody who isn't in the black community, lived a day in our lives and walked a day in our shoes.
Have you lived a day in my life? Have you lived a day in my life?
I never said I did. I never
No,
said I did.
but why would I live a day in your life?
But Tony, you need to also understand, as soon as the gypsies and the travellers and the Irish are attacked, we are the first of communities that will come and defend you.
Same back.
Thank you. So give us that energy then, Tony. But give us that energy.
You've done something last night.
Come on.
Do you remember when that fella had to apologise to the gypsy and traveller community for using the word pikey? The man who represents BLM. Do you remember that, or do you want me to play that video on my line?
No, I remember it.
You remember it? When he had to apologise for a word he used. Did we all keep jumping on him? And that's all I'm saying. Pearl has apologised. What more do you want?
Pearl is how old and she's
Tony, do you think,
I'm 24, mate, and I know not to use that. She's old enough and big enough to know.
Okay, but Pearl's apologised though, Dimitri. Let's, I've spoken to her this morning.
It's not the first time though that she's done something like this.
Okay, my thing is, Tony, the same way that when the blackout happened and everyone was going through, the whole blackout thing, and we were fighting against, get the wrong ones off the app, protect our children, every single person, no matter what race, what religion, what background they were before, we came together. Why can't we now do the same for racism? That is my point on this app. Why is it always we're trying to crucify somebody or we're trying to tear them down? We're not trying to tear Pearl down. We followed Pearl. We follow Pearl. We support Pearl. We loved Pearl until what she said last night. And we still don't believe that she's racist.
Until she said what she said last night.
No, Tony, after last night.
No, but can I just say one thing without having to shout over people? Please.
Yeah, but you have to. Okay, Tony, you have to understand that it's a letdown at the end of the day.
listen,
Yeah.
Pearl has apologised.
I know.
She's
Okay,
opened
Tony, but
up
where's
to-
her apology?
See, I can't finish. This is why I have to shout. People are
Okay.
telling me I'm aggressive because I can't finish off what I'm trying to say ever.
Let him finish. Let him talk. Just talk, Tony. Go on, everyone's listening. Let him get his point across, guys, so we don't have to shout. Go on, Tony. Sorry, mate.
I'm not defending Pearl for what she said. She said it to the wrong person. Had that been anyone else, it wouldn't be this bad. And this is what she's saying. When she has called it to her grandchildren or any one of her mates, it's never been looked at like this. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. So you're crucifying a woman for a word. Yes, she was in the wrong for using it to a certain member from a certain community.
But when she's...
No, but please, let me finish. But what the hell do you want? The woman has cried her eyes out. The woman has apologised left, right and centre. What more can she do? What more can she do?
It's educate. Can I respond to him? It's not, we're not, you got to understand.
We are
you keep
educated
saying,
because we've had 4 live feeds on this about education. I've learned things today that I didn't know yesterday.
Exactly.
And that's what we want. And I respect what you're doing
on TikTok.
So what have you learned? What have you learned?
The peddlers on this app. But yet
Wait,
you're going
what
at
have you
these
learned?
women because what? They're black, mate, or
Wait,
because
what
they're
have
making
you
it.
learned? Can you
What
answer
are you
that
on
question?
about,
What have you
Tori?
learned from
Again, you're
yesterday
at me
to
for no
today?
reason.
Can I still
What have
ask
you
him my
learned?
question? Sorry,
What have
Tori,
you
again,
learned?
sorry. Can I
Go
just
on,
ask him?
go on.
I need to know because you're calling me
So basically,
you're calling me. Why am I racist?
okay, can I speak? You've asked me what have I learned.
No, I've not finished. No, I'm saying, can we squash that for a second? Because you've not actually answered the question I've asked you when you first came in here. You came in shouting. You've obviously had an issue, conversation with Torian.
I have no choice to shout because you won't
okay, yeah, again, I'm not. Tony, mate, you just sat down and screamed.
It's only me talking over you. You don't realise when there's 3 people talking over me.
No one.
And I have to shout.
Oh my fucking fuck! No one else is talking.
Turn around and call Paige racist.
Can I just interrupt because obviously...
No, can I please get my fucking question out? I've got one question, I'm going. The man called my name out. Please, can I have a chance to defend myself, guys? Without everyone's
You've been talking for a long
ad.
time.
I've spoken for a long time. I'm talking to... Oh my God, if one more person, I'm actually going to lose my shit because Tony gets the respect, everyone mutes up and shuts up.
Obviously, she just come on, let Paige get a point.
I get the respect. I get the respect.
There we go. I've been so respectful down to even Pearl on my stage, saying all these things. I've had people come in and say the maddest things, and I've not been able to ask one simple question. You just jumped down. You've run into this live when it was calm. This live weren't like this a minute ago. Can I just add in, before Dave came in, tried to mansplain about how we let one another talk. That was going on. There was white, black, Asian, there was male, female. There was all of us, the boxes were full till Tony came in, and it was a calm conversation. It was a very calm conversation. You've literally run in and you've screamed that I'm a racist, Tony. That's one of the first things you've said. All I fucking asked you, since you've gone on, making out with saying Pearl's got to say sorry. I've not once said Pearl's got to say sorry again once. No one in this room has cussed Pearl out or got her down on her knees and said, you must keep saying sorry. We're just having a conversation after the fact of the aftermath of what happened. I want to know what I've done for you to run in here to try and discredit me in front of 2,000 people calling me a racist. Can you please answer the question?
Sorry, I don't want to interact, and I'll obviously let Tony speak then. Tony, she is correct, we've gone in and obviously she's just been creating awareness. She hasn't said anything about Pearl apologising again. I think it just escalated from somewhere. It wasn't, do you know what I mean? People were getting the points across and that was it. I was just saying my personal preference, Pearl's not a racist, and you said the same. So, Paige, what you said is correct. So, you know what I mean? Just let you know. But feel free to talk. So, I'm sorry, mate.
I'm getting really annoyed because it's like, yet again, we're talking about racism, and we're being made like I'm some big bad boy bully. When Tony, come in, you came into my live yesterday, started screaming, the last thing I heard was Torian's a bitch. And then you're dropping. I've not called no one a bitch. Why the fuck am I getting called a bully, sorry? Why the fuck am I getting called racist?
I find you so educational. Like, I've watched you on Ricksta's live, on Andy's live.
Question respectfully, because Paige has been waiting for a response from Tony.
That's what I mean. Thank you, Joanna. I do appreciate it.
Just let Paige get a response, please.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. I don't get why and this is another like education. I'm trying to point out. It's a case study again. Like, look at what has just happened. Like, he can answer when I'm done. So when I'm done finished speaking completely, I don't feel like I need to then jump in. I've not stopped speaking, Sinead, because all day on the app, I've been invited and people have called out my name. I'm not just in these places because I just want to be centre of attention. People have asked me, how many lives in earlier? Can I ask you a question, Paige? Can I ask you a question? Most people would say, piss off, go and Google it. I'm happily sitting there saying, I'll go over the same questions over and over and over and over again. That's fine. Even though I don't want to, I will do it. Until Tony comes in on a very aggressive manner, not had one single white person that comment call him aggressive. The ones that are calling me aggressive, I'm saying, the ones that are racist towards me, I've not seen any of you call him aggressive. He's called women bitches. You've come in and called me racist, which is actually completely devaluing what I'm trying to do. And I've been so fucking fair, Tony, to everyone. So I really, really need you to explain why the fuck I'm racist and why you came in telling me that I'm screaming white privilege in your face and not spoke to you all day and why I'm racist.
Let Tony speak then. Guys, can everyone mute while Tony responds? Go on, Tony.
I'm allowed to respond.
Carry on, mate.
So you're telling me in any debates today, you've never brought up white privilege?
Hold on. So that is the privilege that Pearl.
No. But have you never brought that up?
No, I have. So I'm saying, is that why you think I'm racist?
No, but you have. No.
I said yes, Tony.
See what I'm saying? I've got to speak over her. I asked you a question, yes or no. Have you mentioned about white privilege today?
Yes. Tony, she said yes, she's been educating on
yes, you've mentioned white privilege. And when I turned around and said, as a white person that cannot get into a cinema, a restaurant, a hotel, I do not have white privilege. And that's what I said to you earlier on. All day, I've been hearing people talking about white privilege. I fired up my own live feed to say, where is my white privilege? Where is it?
You're talking about class privilege. You know when you're getting turned down.
Class. Oh, it's class now, not white.
Can you listen to her? Stop
okay, that's what I'm saying. You're saying, mate, you're doing the same thing to me that you're moaning I'm doing. So this is what I'm saying. Be fair or be square. Like, you know? I'm not even shouting back at you at this point.
I'll fire up my own live feed. Fuck this.
There you go. You're
there you go. Go on, Clout Chaser. Bye.
See, this is what I mean. Like,
can I just say the thing that he's getting and calling me racist for? Pearl is literally opened up on her own live and said that was my white privilege, not making me realise the implication of what I said. So the big problem that Tony has as a male that he's calling me racist for, Pearl on her own big live has admitted that was one of the biggest reasons why she didn't realise that it would offend so many people.
Like, and do you know what it is, Paige? Do you know what it is as well? Like half of the time, like, I don't think Pearl was even aware of this until obviously myself, Tori and Paige went up on stage and actually spoke to her today. I don't think she even realised what white privilege is and the fact that she has it without even realising. And I think that's what it is. And that's what's very common on this app. People say, oh, but you guys are saying the white privilege and you're saying you have it. Yes, it's an unintentional thing that you have and you might not even know that you're using it when you're using it. So let's not try and weaponize people for saying, oh, you've got white privilege when actually some of the time and most of the time people don't even realize they're using it. Do you know what I mean?
I'm white and I'll even say anybody that has white coloured skin, it doesn't matter if you're a traveller, it doesn't matter what community.
Thank you, Dimitri.
Yeah, you would still have
exactly. Thank you.
Italian.
Can I just interrupt there? Sorry, darlings. Can I just interrupt because I live in the northeast. I live about 3 miles away from Pearl, even though I've never met her. And I understand black privilege and whatnot. I would,
white privilege. You mean white privilege?
Sorry, yeah. I had a boyfriend who was black, and I literally went to meetings because he was going to come and live with me, and I wanted to understand how I would, meet his care needs. Like, I had crazy questions that white people do have, and I felt embarrassed asking him. So I went to this group in Gateshead, which was 30 miles away from me. But I wanted to learn.
I'm so confused. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't get it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying.
Go on, Joanne. Go on. Finish.
What don't you understand, Al?
Care needs.
Like,
just about
and why you have to go to meetings.
Yeah, just silly questions. As a white person, I had silly questions like, does a black person need to wear like sunscreen? Like, I had silly questions, but I felt so comfortable going to this group to ask them. And you don't shame me because they like really included me and everything like that, because I didn't know. I've never been around black people. I met him in London. I was in a relationship with him, and I wanted him to come up, live north, and up here, you know, we don't have the barbers, we don't have whatever. So I joined that group, and I hope it, like, you don't feel it's.
Sorry, guys.
I'm confused.
I can't. Yeah, I couldn't. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Tony,
sorry. I could not deal with that.
And you know, Tony, just one point on this is, I think from the conversation I heard earlier, is it's not a competition between who gets it worse, those in the black community, brown community, the gypsy community. And I don't think it's a competition between that, because everyone receives different types of discrimination, racism, based on whatever situation it is. I think these girls have been in different lives, and I've been in different lives today where they've sat for hours and explained and tried to answer questions and to sort of explain what the background is behind some of this stuff. Because for me, it's not just the words. If people have an understanding why those words might be offensive or the reasons around it, then maybe naturally as part of that, then people will think about the types of words that they're using generally after that, not just about the particular word, because words change year on year. So if you understand the background behind it, and these people have been doing that, none of them have denigrated Pearl. They've all sat there in Pearl's live and said, we accept that, we don't think you're racist, but what you said was wrong. People have called that out, and rightly so. But they've not once then gone in on Pearl and said, Pearl was fine with them. She was fine with them and talking about it. But just as much as we shouldn't just stop at 4 awarenesses about peddlers, why are we stopping at 4? We should be doing that on and on and on and on and on to raise awareness about children's safety, about online safety. It's the same for racism. Because if you want me to be perfectly honest, the impact, no, I can't say that, but there's a wider problem with racism as much as there is danger and that with peddlers. So looking after our children is just as important. So we shouldn't just stop it at 4. But I don't think these girls have been constantly going around shouting, you know, all that sort of stuff they've been explaining. I've learned stuff, and I'm a person of colour. I'm allowed to as well learn things. You see what I mean?
Can I ask you a question, TJ?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go.
TJ, so then why was everything brushed under the carpet from what CLA said?
But we're not comparing the stuff.
It wasn't brushed under the carpet.
It wasn't.
Tony, you asked me a question.
She actually used the N-word multiple times.
Can I just say something about that quickly? Tony,
oh, we keep covering that up. We keep covering that up.
Tony,
but CLA used the N-word.
Okay, Tony,
So it wasn't
can I just say
covered up.
something? Tony, if you go in your DMs right now, literally right now, right, I messaged you on my Taurian X8, and I messaged you and I said, hi, Tony.
Can I
Hold
speak
on, 1
now?
second, let me finish.
Can I speak? No. Can I speak?
Let me finish. I said to you, wait 1 second, because you keep talking about CLA. 1 moment. I actually DM'd you on your account and I said, hi, Tony.
Why should it stop between peddlers?
Why are you going at women like this?
Can I finish what I'm saying?
Why is
Can I finish?
Why is
Tony, if you're gonna,
I finish, please.
Tony, if you're gonna ask a question, just let them answer,
please.
please. Just
what
2
I'm
minutes.
telling you is, you keep talking about CLA, but I've actually DM'd you on your account and I've said, hi, Tony. I've seen you're doing posters and bringing awareness about all these wrong-uns on this app. I want to get some posters out about CLA and put it out there. How do I do that? You haven't responded, and that's okay. But don't sit here and say, where is this energy for CLA? Because I've messaged a lot of big content creators. Dave Duran, I've messaged him. Like all these people that come here and act like they want to do this, but I've messaged them.
So I'm sorry you missed my live feed on CLA. You missed it. You missed it.
Yeah, we missed it. I didn't see it either.
But Tony, you also missed all their lives for 6-7 hours, day on day on day about CLA. So we can 2 minutes. Tony, let me finish. Tony, let me finish.
Let him speak. Go on, CJ. Go on.
So, you know, so you've also missed the lives that they've been doing on CLA day in, day out. But just because they don't mention the word CLA, they can use the reference and educate it, because otherwise people go, okay, what do you want them to keep doing? Talking about CLA, talking about Pearl. They're using that as reference and then just explaining about the generalization of it. And the fact is, if you don't understand white privilege, that's fine. It's not a problem. Not everyone does. But then just understand it and then accept that it's not about that you go in there and then when you have a different haircut, as you said earlier, or you talk and then people realise. It's a fact of when you walk in the door at the same time, there's this background perception and discrimination and prejudice because of purely the colour of people's skin. That is the white privilege.
This isn't the first time that Pearl has attacked a group of people, though. This has been ongoing with various different groups, and I'm sorry, but in my opinion, somebody that can sit on an app and go at various different people from various different communities. I've sat there and openly seen her be transphobic towards many trans women on this app, right? And say that they're not a woman, that they're a man, this, that, and the other. Then she's going and being, in my opinion, it is racist because at her big age, I'm only 24 years of age, and I know never to use what she said in the context towards a woman of colour, and I'm 24 years of age. She should know better, also coming from a community that she does, that is constantly marginalised for just the fact is that she's a traveller. Like, it doesn't matter how, like, she's older than me. She's old enough to be my mum. And I'm sorry, but she turned around and said, I'm sorry, but, and I watched that. The way that she said, I'm sorry, in my opinion, I'm not black, right? I wouldn't take that as an apology because she followed it with an excuse afterwards. And for people like Tony sat here going, oh, well, people shut up and put up about it. Okay, how about we shut up and put up about the likes of Diadra on the app by his knowledge? Because we shouldn't. It's not right. It's not fair. And I'm sorry, but Pearl is going at literally everybody on this app. She's been racist, in my opinion. She's been transphobic. Where is ever that energy? But it's fine for her to sit on an app because she's protected like the likes of Miss Red, and she's got Rick, you know, I love you. She, obviously you're still friends there and whatnot. But for me personally, give her the same energy that we're giving all these other people, the people like Diadra on the app. But it's going to get swept under the carpet in a week and then it's going to be forgotten about and it'll be, oh, dear old Pearl. I'm sorry, regardless of what Laura has been through and what hasn't been through, people keep bringing that up just because of the shit with Speedo. It doesn't fucking matter. And I'm sorry to say it and be the person that's maybe with a bit of fucking logical head on myself. But Pearl has been known for doing things like this and she's just going to get away with it. She sits on a live stream, builds up a live. The amount of times when people have gone to me, Dimitri, get in a box. I will not sit there and get in a box with that woman that has openly been transphobic, homophobic, and now racist to even add it onto the list. I'm sorry, but she's a stain of the community that she belongs to. She needs to humble herself, educate herself, and maybe come off the app because quite clearly she needs some mental health intervention if this woman is speaking all the types of madness that she's doing. And that is just my opinion on it.
There's a huge difference between discrimination and racism. You're right. I mean, I don't ever get in boxes. This is the first time, but it's a really, really important conversation.
Yeah.
Now, I'm from a traveling background. My mum was on the road, my grandparents. When it got to my age, we were all settled on sites by then. But one thing is, I used to be really ignorant about things like white privilege and things like that. But basically, when I was a little girl at school, and the kids used to come and have a few weeks at the school with us, they used to be bullied and picked on and called terrible names. Now, I can hide behind my white skin. And I only realized that about 10 years ago that was what I was doing, because I was not embarrassed, but I was frightened that I would get bullied too, coming from that community. But that's not the same as a black person or a person of color. They cannot hide behind like what I did, my white skin. So that is white privilege. You know, and I just feel that this conversation in the UK is really important. This app is extremely toxic, and I do not get in boxes very often, but this is a really, really important conversation.
Well said, Ali. Well said.
Perfectly described, Ali. Thank you.
Well said, Ali. Coming from the travelling community as well, for you to say that, I mean, well said.
Big up yourself, Ali.
Rick, but just you girls keep talking about it. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to stop people talking about it. And Dimitri, your truth is your truth, and how you feel is how you feel. That's not, denigrated in any way. So, but I'll see you guys later. Thanks for.
One thing I want to do, so I want to say this as well, ladies, just so you all know, right? And what you said, you hit the nail earlier on, Paige, and you did as well, Torian. You turned around and said it's okay when something's discussed on this app. It can go on for days and days, even weeks. But when we discuss what's happened about the racism and that, after 24 hours it needs to be forgotten. That shouldn't be the case. If we want to talk about it, we can talk about it. Look, I said there was no attacks at Pearl. There wasn't saying get on your knees, Pearl, and apologise. You never said that. You were creating awareness that it's unacceptable that it keeps going on, and especially across the app. And certain other creators are still doing it, and you're just creating that awareness. And if you want to speak about it until the cows come home, that's your prerogative to do so. I'm saying I fully support that. But people can talk about other situations. Continue to talk. but they want to shut everybody up after 24 hours. It's regardless of how many lives have been blasted up. You know what I mean? It's still got to be made aware of, and people need to be educated, because you understand what I mean? You've got to drill it in people's minds to let you know it's unacceptable to do these things. So,
Ricky, the way that she come up, nearly misgendered bloody Tony then, the way that he come at the girls was disgusting. Like, for me, sitting here as a bloke, that bearing in mind I was a woman 10 years ago, nearly, the way that he spoke to all the girls in the box, that's why I got you to add me in, because it wasn't right, shouting and screaming. But then the minute that he's speaking to when TJ was in the box,
one thing I will say about Tony, and these ladies know, because some of them go in his lives, and I know Kiki has been supportive of Tony for a long time. Tony just wants to try and de-escalate a situation. Obviously, he got the wrong end of the stick for everyone was attacking Pearl when it wasn't. It was just education. And obviously, Paige creating awareness.
That's and listen, though, mate, in my opinion.
That's what it was. So Tony got the wrong. But one thing he does do, Tony, he does come on the app, he creates awareness, and he does a lot of good stuff on his app. And I fully support him on that.
I'm not saying that I don't support him, mate. I'm just saying the tone of voice that he brought towards all of these girls in the box, that some of them might have left, some of them might still be in here. I can't keep track of it because I can't actually see people's names in the boxes. The way that he come at it, as a man that is meant to be protecting women and children, I'm sorry, but that was just, in my opinion, hypocritical. Regardless of, I'm not dissing what he does, but if you're going to be on the app and say that you're raising awareness and supporting women and supporting children, and Ricky, maybe you don't understand it to that level because you've not walked the shoes that these girls have walked, in terms of, I know what it's like to be a woman. Women should, and I'm sorry, but as a traveller himself, where, in my opinion, I've got a couple of friends that are travellers, they're always meant to respect women, but where was that fucking respect for these women?
I understand what you're saying, but I think this is down to racism. I understand where you're coming from, Dimitri. This is to do with racism and that as well. I think he was just passionate, that he was just trying to de-escalate something about the
de-escalating, but shouting over Paige when she's asked him why he's called a racist, and he couldn't reply, and he boots out the box. What? Because guilty conscience, he can't handle the smoke, but he's fine to dish it out, but he can't take it back, Ricky. Come on, we can't sit there and
do you know what it is, Ricksta? Do you know what it is as well? Like, this is probably another point that I think I wanted to make to Tony before he left the box. But you know, he's saying that when is it going to stop? When are you going to do this? You know, stop. You know, she's apologized, but you've got to also remember that these same creators that are saying, "Why don't you stop?" As soon as they say something that's racist or anything that's a racial slur, and we go up and we say, "Well, why did you say that for? That was racist, or that was a racial slur." Their response to us is, "But we didn't know. Educate us." So if you're going to tell us to educate you, please allow us to have these lives on creators' platforms to educate you, because to use that then as an excuse when as soon as we call out your racism is not going to fly. I'm sorry. So let's try to understand. Now, this is what I wanted to say to Tony earlier, but he left. You're saying, when is it going to stop? But we can't stop it, because the minute that we do and we sit back and we allow creators to say stuff like this that are racist, the minute we call them out on it, it's we didn't know, we weren't aware of it, we're part of this community and we live here, we've grown up with this. It's all sorts of justifications pulled out of the bag. So we need to understand that actually, if we educate you guys and we actually say, right, as a white community, this is what you shouldn't say, because the impact of this is this, and this is why it is the way that it is, at least the next person you say it to, or maybe the next person that asks you, you might even be able to stand with us and defend us. Yeah. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I know it's not
let's not do that.
Can I just say,
Salome been waiting quite patiently. Sorry, I can't see your name, sis. It begins with an OL. She's been waiting quite patiently for a while to speak. Can we let her?
Yeah. I was just going to say, so I was there yesterday. I literally was scrolling up because I follow Paige, but that woman, I can't remember her name, she said that with intention. There's no doubt about it. She knew exactly what she was saying. She knew exactly why she was saying it. And she said it with intention to be racist. No one can convince me of anything different. At the end of the day, most of us Black people are experts in the topic of racism because we've been dealing with it our whole lives. She said it with intention. So there's one thing about educating people, but you can educate people, but if they want to be racist, that's what they're going to do. They're going to be racist. And I wanted to just also use this as an opportunity, because in Ireland right now, it seems like there's a lot of white supremacist rhetoric happening in the name of protecting our country. And literally, there's been a 15-year-old Black creator who was been plastered all over TikTok, millions of reposts and stuff, as people accused him of being a 30-year-old man harassing young children, adultifying a young black 15-year-old boy. So people put apparently a bounty of 10,000 euros on his head to harm him and have filled his DMs with racial abuse, harassment, threats. And this is literally a 15-year-old child being a 15-year-old child and being attacked because he looks like a man, because he's tall, basically. And it's actually so disgusting and heartbreaking because from one side of TikTok, I'm seeing how the young children are being attacked and stopped from being themselves and made to feel guilty because they have genes that make them tall. And then on the other side of TikTok, we have an Irish traveller, a woman who should understand exactly what it feels like to be discriminated, using rhetoric to attack and put down another culture that has been attacked their whole lives. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
I'm going to stop you right there. Pearl is not an Irish traveller, so stop grouping travellers and Romani gypsies together. I'm seeing it all night.
Okay, I don't know where Pearl is from. All I heard is she's a traveller, so my apologies.
Furthermore, Dee, I know you're friends with Cannon. And Cannon and you
and the rest are
race baiters.
No, we're not race baiters, actually. You can't force somebody to be a racist. You're either racist or you're not.
You, Cannon, and the rest are race baiters. That's all you are. Everyone on the app knows it. Cannon is constantly on it, make Ireland black again. I want my country back. I want reparations, everything. Cannon is a racist, pure and simple. Everyone was for Cannon at the very start.
Racist to who exactly? Cannon, when his mother is white and his father is black, who is he racist to?
Well, to Irish people, where he's telling them to get out of their own country.
But he grew up in Ireland, so how is he racist to Irish people? What has he ever said that is racist? This is what I mean. He's completely deflecting because I'm actually here to discuss.
Can you ask me a question? Cannon is constantly trying to pit black people against white people, Irish against English, travellers against Irish, travellers against English. Everyone knows this.
No one knows that. You're actually talking absolute nonsense.
No, we do know that. We do know that. I've come across she in lives before. This is not the first time I've had a problem with anyone in them boxes. Hence why I said.
So what do you think about the lies being spread about a 15-year-old boy being called a 30-year-old man harassing a child? Do you think that's normal? What do you think about that? About the lies being spread about a 15-year-old black boy and him being threatened by people in Ireland and told that he's not an Irish boy, even though he was born and bred in Ireland, simply because he's black, and being threatened and a 10,000 euro bounty being put up on his head. Yes, he's 15.
Who is?
I'll tell you what it is.
Benga is 15 years old, and you guys accuse him of being 30 years old.
What are you mixing with him for, you paedophile?
Sorry, what's he talking about?
What are you mixing with a 15-year-old on the app for?
What's he talking about? Is this boy confused?
Can I please just say something before Paige has to go?
I just want to say, Tony, I think it's very clear that you've only got a problem wanting to stop talking about racism because it's Pal, she's part of the traffic community and your friend. Because when I was getting at Ange every day for 3.5 weeks, you was on my team, on my side, hun. You was giving it choo-choo, hate train, let's back it. Ange is a racist, Ange hates the traffic community, Ange hates black people, but now it's your friend and it's Pal. Just say you want to back your friend with chest, mate. Say you don't care about racism and you want to back your friend. Just say it with chest because you was on my side, Tony. Me and you have never in my life had a problem until today you're calling me a racist. And I can't think the only difference in what I'm saying, exactly the same to Pearl as was to Ange. In fact, I'm nicer to Pearl because I actually like Pearl. I can't stand Ange. When I was rude to Angie, I was taking the piss out of her head by the whole lot. You backed it, mate. So this isn't about when's racism going to stop talking about and bullying, because you were happy to fucking bully Angie. You were happy to open up your boxes to me fucking then, mate. And you were happy to back me. But now it's your friend, even though I've been nice to your friend, and Pal hasn't got a problem with me. Pal herself said, thank you, Paigey. You, with your big ass mouth, calling me racist as a problem now.
My big ass mouth.
And stop saying you care about racism. You don't care about racism.
Yes.
You absolutely idiot of a man. You care about your brethren.
Am I allowed to speak? Idiot of a man. Am I allowed to speak now?
No, you can't. We don't want to hear it.
I'm not allowed to speak, so this is one-sided, yeah?
You're fake, mate.
This is one-sided.
I don't even know. You just accused me of messing with a 15-year-old child when I'm telling you his story, which is plastered all over X.
So
no, you're not listening. You're hearing what you want to hear because of your depraved mind. Did anybody else hear that? You're hearing what you want to hear because of your depraved mind. I've not even spoken to the boy. It's a story all over TikTok. It's a story all over Irish TikTok. It's a story all over X because people like Mike O'Keefe and all the top racists have been reposting him. He's a 15-year-old boy who they accused of being a 30-year-old man harassing kids when he was playing pranks with his age mates. And he's now been being sent death threats. They put a 10,000 euro bounty on his head. They said that they're going to kill him when they see him, when he's a 15-year-old kid that was playing with his schoolmates.
Still ain't got a fucking
All because he's a black boy. All because he's a black man.
What about your man from Cork?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well, the story I heard about that, and it's all over.
Yeah, go on, tell your story.
He wasn't a 15-year-old. He was a grown man tried to rape a woman.
He's not a grown man. His TikTok is clearly there.
Well,
if you look at his face, he's clearly a child.
Let me talk.
He's a 15-year-old child that adults have been proudly harassing simply because he's black. And you